Hello? Can I help you?
Hey, Hannah.
Simon.
Yeah, it's me.
I don't understand. How are you here? Why?
I came here to help. I heard you might need some.
What do you even know? You don't know anything.
I'm not gonna apologize for what happened between us. But I care enough about you to stop you from making a huge mistake.
You made your feelings perfectly clear.
Hey.
Stop! You're dead. You died. I got us in an accident, and you're gone.
But it's not your fault. You said it yourself, it was just an accident. You remember when we were 6 and I almost drowned you? You kept bragging about how long you could hold your breath.
For the next 2 weeks.
You remember?
Yeah. Oh my God. Seeing you. Why did you come back?
Just because I couldn't love you the way you wanted doesn't mean I don't love you at all. It just wouldn't have worked. Even if you were the perfect woman. And you are pretty damn close.
Stop. The last thing that I said to you was that you were a fucking faggot.
But I forgive you. I just want you to be okay.
I don't deserve that.
Hey, cut that out. Hannah. Hannah, look at me. It's okay. I'm here. I'm telling you. It's okay. It's not like you crashed the car on purpose.
Simon. You have to understand.
What?
I loved you so much.
What are you talking about? You deliberately crashed the car?
I never meant for you to die.
What the fuck did you think would
I
happen?
thought we would both die. Simon, please. Every day I wish that I could just take it back or go with you. I wish and I fucking pray that it was different. I can't. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Simon. Simon.
So everybody who's new, if you go to the website, oh, is it done? It's done. Okay. I was promoting the film again. John, you got to hire me as a publicist. I swear to God. What do you say? Or James, I'm sorry. James, you got to hire me as a publicist. I don't know what I said, John.
Yeah, you're hired.
Thank you. Oh, wow. Great. Same benefits I get here, so perfect.
Welcome to the No Labels, No Walls plus We Are One Festival 2020. My name is Markus Vähälä and I'm your host today together with Michael Bierman from Los Angeles.
We're so excited to have all of you all here.
So welcome everybody. James, can you introduce your team?
Yeah, I'm here. Well, I had my cinematographer here with me, but he had to leave on another gig. So PK Pongsakorn is not with us right now unless he joins remotely. But I have our two stars, Savannah Rutledge and Cyrus Palizban.
Hello.
There he is.
Hey, yes.
Look at the big wall of everybody.
Suddenly, my computer went kaput, so I switched myself over to my phone.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome everybody. It was a magnificent film. Thank you so much. Tell us how you started with the film. It's a play behind it, or isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. It's a play put on by the Theater Academy. It's actually like a series of 10-minute pieces that all take place in cars, and this was one of them. And the theater wanted to do a collaboration with the cinema department, and they gave us the scripts for all of the 10-minute segments. And I got to pick the one I liked the best, and this is the one I picked. And I'll let Savannah and Cyrus talk about the origin of it.
Yeah, it was really such a treat working on it. Our old chairman had brought us back because we were part of the Theater Academy originally, and they were doing this really incredible immersive theater sort of experience where they had 3 rows of 5 cars each. And it was sort of this like stop and go thing called autoplay, where 2 people would come in and sit in the car with the door shut. You were essentially a part of this play, this experience. And we got really lucky because he gave all of the creators a lot of freedom to write like all their own material and really just play around. So yeah, essentially we wrote it as part of this 10-minute play series, and then we got lucky with James wanted to pick it up and turn it into the screenplay, and we finished filming it like 2 years ago?
Last year.
Was it last year?
April last year, yeah.
Don't make me feel older.
2020 feels like 2 years though, doesn't it?
I know.
Yeah, with this quarantine. The crazy thing about this play, Savannah, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was it wasn't exactly, but the idea for the story kind of sparked from like a dream or a nightmare. Is that right?
Yeah. I had we were in the middle of the writing process and we just couldn't agree on something because it's, a little more difficult to carry 10 to 15 minutes of writing with 2 people right in front of your face. You want to do something engaging, and we really, really wanted to do something that was meaningful and told a story and, maybe people could connect with. And maybe it was just like nightmares from all the stress of trying to write it in such a short amount of time. But yeah, I ended up having this nightmare about guilt and loss and grief and how different people cope, and it kind of started with that. And then we built it, and I think a week before, or not even a few days before we were supposed to submit the final draft, we changed 80% of what we were writing, like scrapped it and just started this new like super dark project, and it ended up going over pretty well, I guess. But yeah, that's pretty much how it started.
Yeah, and then James came along, and oh boy.
Yeah, we got so lucky with James. He's such an amazing director and creator, and it's so just, yeah, we had such a good team. And PK as the DP is just like their vision and their genius is, it's incredible. We got really lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Really fun.
You guys are so nice. It's really great to see you guys. I feel like it's been so long, and you know, there's been some look changes. Savannah, your hair is so long now.
I know. I live by the beach now. Maybe that's.
Yeah, and Cyrus, you had this huge head of hair.
Quite the opposite. Yeah. Shaved it off. Quarantine changes a man.
Yeah.
Growing a beard, you know, just kind of settled in, you know, not going out, so might as well do whatever. But yeah, James, you were fantastic. When we had written the play, you approached us about doing a screenplay. I remember we were a little bit nervous about you changing it a lot, but when the changes you made, like, it was like, so like, oh yes, of course, like that makes sense. Like, it was such a well adapted screenplay that from the first day, I can't speak for Savannah, but I was like so comfortable that I was like, oh, I'm in the good hands, you know, like, where do you want to go? The middle of the desert? Let's go. I trust you, you know, like,
yeah.
Fantastic. James, you really did a wonderful job. You made it a great experience.
Yeah, it was crazy because I felt like we spent so much time and energy and care curating this piece and working with the Theater Academy and putting it on, and so many hours just developing something that was, you know, for us, like really meaningful and was supposed to be, very meaningful and like important. And so when he approached us, I was so nervous to like, because he was shortening it as well. So I was like really hoping, as long as the integrity of what we were trying to convey was there, I was okay with it. And then the first day we started working, his vision and his organization was amazing. And yeah, it all just flowed super seamlessly. And and then we went out to the middle of the desert for 2 days and filmed this. Apparently,
very diligent shot list for sure from PK. We went through. Poor Savannah was like pouring her all for like I don't know how many hours just straight. I don't know how you did it, but you know, it was a thorough shoot, you know, and we would do master shots of the entire thing over, you know, over and over and over again. It was a weird hybrid experience of kind of like doing theater because you go all the way through, and doing film when you stop and start all over the place. You know, it was a really interesting experience in that way. And
sorry.
Go ahead. Tell them how it was.
For me, it was such an interesting transition because I had spent 3 years at this theater conservatory, and I love theater, and it's live. It's so different, but I knew how different film and theater were, but that was one of my first film experiences being on this shoot. And thankfully, like, James and the crew and everybody we worked with were so amazing. They made it really easy. But that transition from film to theater to film was so weird and so difficult, and it's really exhausting. And it's two different beasts, you know, they're both not mutually exclusive in their own way, but it was really weird. I mean, Cyrus and I were talking about it a lot. I think maybe he's a little more experienced than I am in terms of like film, but I was just like, it's so different. It's so hard. Like, I'm so tired. Because, you know, we wanted to bring as much truth and authenticity to what we were talking about as possible. And we wanted it to be, you know, sharing a story. And that's kind of the point of like film and theater and TV. I think like storytelling, like honest, truthful storytelling. And so to keep it up for like these really long hours all day for 2 days straight. It was really intense, but it was great.
And Savannah, I want to bring in Leslie because you mentioned Theater Academy a lot. We have Leslie. Are you still there, Leslie? Leslie, I think you're there. Leslie Farrar. Well, yeah,
I don't see him. I think he had a different.
I'm here.
Oh,
and then
I'm here, but
Ben for a question.
I can.
yes.
Hi, Leslie.
Hi, everybody. I'm at a workspace
Oh, there
with
he is.
my wife as well, and I can't really right now. I can't turn on the video, and I really can't respond vocally. I'll answer questions in the chat.
I got it.
Did you have a question?
I do. So after you auditioned the actors and you found that you selected the ones that you wanted to be in this film, how long did they have when they got the script until their first day of shooting? That's a question I've always wanted to know.
Actually, this was a little bit different because this was an existing work. It was a play in the theater department, and part of the collaboration was, theater wanted to give the opportunity to their actors to be in film. So there wasn't really an audition process. I took the creators of the play and they were hired. So they had to audition me and approve me. So it kind of went the other way. Yeah, it's a little non-traditional this time. Oh, hey, we got our cinematographer here now.
Oh, hey.
Oh, Swaddy Cup.
Great.
Fighting Mine.
Hi guys. Savannah Cup. Hi.
This is PK.
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
Hi, PK.
Hi, Savannah.
Hi, PK, and welcome to the No Labels, No Walls. We Are One Festival. What do you remember of shooting this film?
First of all, I'm so excited to be a part of this film. The fact that it's the first collaboration between the cinema department and theater. That's the big deal. That I have a chance to read script. That is a little bit talented for me in terms of try to thinking about the shot, how I'm gonna achieve the shot in terms of because the original idea is wrote for the two characters in the cars, so it's a little bit challenging for me to make the shot how can I tell the story in the one location and then make it interesting. It's actually interesting already, but I mean, use my knowledge on cinema side to enhance the script to make it live. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, one thing that PK had said about, it just reminded me that it was as a collaboration between the cinema and the theater. It was really interesting, not doing the play originally was very interesting because it was in a car and the audience was right here, looking at you from the front seat, kind of leaning over and kind of looking between the two actors. And it was very similar to film acting on camera, but we had been trained, I had very little experience in film before, and we had been trained just to be on stage. We had our teachers, train us to, resonate with our voice and reach the back row and things like that. And we had to tone it down, don't scream at the audience, just keep it down was constantly, the note, contain it, make it subtle. It was like just doing it for a camera. So when the camera came in, it was a weird transition into film, which was so useful as an actor, making the transition myself, because I had done auditions the year of filming and prior, and I had gone into auditions. I remember I must have seemed so overacty, just using my voice because I didn't make that connection in my head. But it was a really interesting thing. And then the last little transformational bit was getting used to that camera being in strange places. But PK was so smooth with it. I didn't think you could fit a camera in certain spots that he did, and like, and this film's gone through so many versions. Like, there's so many shots that don't show up in this film that showed up in prior versions, and they're all fantastic. But yeah, but I don't know. Looks like we're trying to find things to think about. So I thought I'd share that.
I have this image in my head of when we were trying to film the last shot of like me in the back seat and just PK standing like 5 inches away from my face, the camera, like holding it with his strength, and I'm trying to like cry or laugh, and like everyone else is around the car and the windows, and he's like, okay, like slowly. I was like, this is movie magic. This is how it happens. Like, speaking of the, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna talk on what you were saying with when we did it as a play. It was really such a unique experience because we were in a row of 5 cars, and so essentially you're doing this 10-minute play 5 times in a row. So from the moment the doors open, 2 people get in, you do the play, the doors shut, it's over. You have like 30 seconds to reset until the next 2 people get in the car, and you're doing it over and over. And there were some days we had like 3 shows in one day, so we were doing it like we do it like 5 times, and then 5 more times, and then 5 more times, like morning, afternoon, night. So many people, and it was it was a very unique experience to say the least, but it was amazing. It felt like active boot camp.
I have a question. Like, I know, like, COVID, right? It's kind of like the thing in the room, and also now in LA with the fires. And maybe we open up to the rest of the people on the call. I don't know if you all are part of the LACC theater department, but and part of the film. But how, as artists or just as people, like, where do you guys like see how it kind of changed your trajectory as far as future projects? How do you want to express yourselves now? What kind of projects do you want to kind of work with in the future? And that can be for everybody on the chat, whoever wants to respond.
I mean, I think, like, personally, it's so hard because I love theater, and none of that there's no active theater possible right now. And I think learning to adapt to the film side of things, and, auditioning from home and self-taping, and, less in-person, like, human interaction. It was hard for me at the beginning because I prefer like a more intimate experience, I think. But yeah, just trying to be grateful for the opportunities that I have if they come up, and learning to adapt is just the biggest thing, I guess, for me. Like,
yeah. I mean, I'll just say that, we had a plan for how our lives were going to go for the next year or more. And, this has been a real gut punch to that. But, on the other hand, it's given maybe everyone a chance to sit back and just really think about what's important. And maybe since you have some extra time, learn some skills or do some things that you've been putting off. And, if you've have some stories that you want to write and you haven't done it, do it now and start really thinking about, start planning 2-3 years out. So take advantage of the time that you have is kind of the big thing that we're trying to do now.
Yep. Feels like the calm before the storm now at this point. Like, everybody's had time to sit and think and develop ideas and skills and stuff like that. And as soon as this damn bug goes away, you're going to explode back into productivity and all that stuff. I know that it's been tough without a market and things like that.
Hi, Dad!
Hi, everyone. So grateful to see your faces. I'm the department chair of cinema and TV at LA City College, and I'm actually a big fan of this film, and I'm here to support the director, DP, and the amazing actors. And actually, I really wanted to bring up the conversation because even though you shot this over a year ago, I think really now it's more important than ever to talk about the themes that brought up this film: grief, loss, depression, suicide. And I'm just curious if you have any plans to share this with a wider audience so that we can encourage dialogue about mental health and make sure people who know that they're really feeling that they're alone right now have someone to talk to and have an outlet like this. What can we do about that?
Yeah, I mean, we're still waiting to hear from some festivals, and you know, we are trying to put it out there. So hopefully, you know, hopefully we can get a wider audience and more of a response to it.
I would like to ask Erin here from Finland. Have you been with the movie outside USA, and how people have responded to the film? I'm representing Kukunori, which is an umbrella organization of 41 NGOs here in Finland working with mental health, disability, minorities, and civil rights. And I think your movie could be a change maker, because I believe this kind of art and culture as a way to express, but also to have a dialogue about the topics, and the emotions in your film are quite universal. But
yeah,
how do you experience the response you have had for the film abroad?
I mean, we haven't had much of an opportunity for that, just with most of the festivals being shut down. And I mean, some have come back and gone online, but you know, we were really hoping that at this point we would be taking the film to festivals and like attending and, you know, meeting people and getting a chance to really talk about it. And that's, you know, we're very grateful for this venue and to be able to do this today as a start.
I know that there's a lot of movie lovers here on this call. Would you like to ask something from the crew?
How long did it take to shoot each day, from beginning to wrap?
We did about 12 hours
on the first day.
12 hours each day. Well, we actually shot, let's see, we did 2 full days and then we did 2 half days for pickups, because to get the last shot of Savannah in the back seat,
yeah,
we had to go back to get that with a makeup artist. Yeah. And then to get the sunset shot, one of the last shots, the days that we were there, the sun didn't cooperate with us and the clouds moved in and we didn't get what we wanted, and we had to go back and do it again.
Yeah.
But the 2 days were pretty long. I mean, we started shooting like 9 or 10 in the morning, and then we would go till after the sun was gone and try to get as much as we could. Yeah.
So basically 2 full day and then like a couple pickup shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. The pickup shot is just like because we don't have the makeup artist available on the initially shooting day. That's why like we plan to shoot like the pickup shot later for that's the last shot, right?
Yeah.
Since we're talking about,
I was just saying, Lauren, did you have a question, Lauren Moreno? I saw your camera going up, and I just want to make sure. I can't hear. We can't hear.
You're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I had a question on what lens did you guys use when you were shooting the windmill scene towards golden hour? It was so beautiful, and so just curious what you guys used, and then I have a question for James too.
So we shot that with 600mm Canon zoom lens. It's like long ago. Like
did we use the Doppler on that to get to 1200?
No. For the windmill, I don't think we used the Doppler, but we used the Doppler for the sun. It's
wow, yeah, it was beautiful.
It's roughly about like 1600 millimeters.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's a very long lens.
Yeah,
And then I had another question for James, because you said that you guys kind of cut it, the original script, and so I was just curious, what was your, what motivated you for that? Was it for story, to kind of make it more concise, to kind of get to the root of the story? Was it for like festival purposes? It's pretty short, and so you hit a lot of notes in such a short amount of time, and so that's just really impressive. You see a lot of shorts that kind of drag on, and this one kind of was very clear, cut and dry.
Yeah.
So I just was curious what your motive was for that.
I think you really hit on it, mostly to make it concise and to really hit like the essence of what I thought it was really about. I mean, there were more plot points, but I thought that they, in my view, they muddied the water a little bit, and I wanted to really boil the story down to the most essential elements. And the other thing was, you think about plays tend to have a lot more dialogue than film. Because in a play, normally you're on a stage, or in this case in a car, and like you're not really, your attention's not being focused visually.
Yeah.
So there was a lot more dialogue, and I really wanted to cut the dialogue down as much as I can and like boil everything down to just essential, conveying the real emotion and letting Savannah and Cyrus tell the story with their expression.
Yeah, you really did that. That was great. Just really great work. Really great work.
I'd like to point out another thing. We were just talking about PK's work and the crew's work. Shooting in a car, and it was correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but it was like a sunny day, but also with like a lot of clouds in it. Very like universal bright light outside, and the car was very there were dim parts. I don't remember how dim it was, but I do remember all these crew members we had a huge canvas over the car blocking the light from one side, and it was a whole day shoot, so the sun was moving, so they had to do all kinds of magic. I'm sure there's a lot of people in this call who know exactly, the right terms and stuff. But, they were putting up canvases, putting up reflectors, and all the crew members were, like just standing sentinel in the same spot for who knows how long, for the entirety of the master shots and over again, and constant adjustments. And PK would just kind of be like, okay, we need this over here. And James would just kind of, check as well. And they were just so good at like fooling us into believing the sun was in the same spot, because really if you were to just let everything go, it would look so out of whack. And I just really wanted to bring that to attention, how much work went into lighting the inside of the car, because it would have looked
so we have a couple of limitations. So first of all, I'm not be able to control the sun. I didn't have to work around that. So, but it's good thing is like good experience to have a great crew, have like all my friends who willing to support me, and it's really grateful. And even though we try to shoot in the car interior, however, like the ambient all around the car is changing constantly. So I have to do my best to make it as much as continuity as possible. There's some shot that like we have a little bit of different contrast, but I mean we do our best to make it continuous. Like I have to like block the sun this way and then let the sun go the other way, and then at the end I have to change all the reflection, but make sure the sun it come from the same direction, even though the sun moving to the opposite direction already. That might be some a little bit like not exact contrast. However, I really grateful that I have all the crew and all the support and make that happen.
We were very, very fortunate. I'm really glad that I met PK, and this is the first project that we worked on together. And I mean, he's really a master. And I had no idea going in, like, I knew it would be difficult, but I didn't know how difficult it would be to make the sun look like it's in the same place all day long. It was a lot of work, and you know, given the budget and other constraints that we had, I think we pulled it off.
Yeah.
And talking about, you know, what Jen was saying about your film and film festivals and your message, you know, there's such a lot of groups working with people with disabilities, mental health, that are coming up for this festival. And I'm sure that they would love to have a film like this, you know, for their people, for this to show to their members. You know, one of the, you know, it just depends what you all want to, you know, how you want to promote and market your film. But tomorrow we have like Cheerla, we have mental health groups, we have one about disability rights, especially people of color. So I just want to kind of throw that out there to all of you, kind of as you're promoting the film. It seems like, you know, it's such a great film and you're so passionate about it. Maybe there's an opportunity there, you know, to get the word out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you.
Love it.
Are there any more questions about the movie?
I have one more.
Yeah.
Sorry. How long did it take you guys to edit it?
Oh, I mean, there were a bunch of versions. It took me, well, first I did the first edit that we showed at the college for the end of semester. So that was about a month and a half. And then after that, I wasn't completely happy with what I showed at school, but I mean, it was the end of the semester and it had to be shown. But then over that summer, I was really, really fortunate because we had our mentor and cinematography professor, Christopher Rossiter, actually came and we screened it again, just privately. And also Kevin Tent, who's a famous alumni of the school, and he's edited, I mean, he's been nominated for Oscars, and he actually came and looked at it too. And these all really great notes. And then, yeah, so I chopped it down a few more times over the next 4 or 5 months. And then we worked quite a bit with color to round out some of the issues with the sun for one thing, because we had some periods we were shooting and, you know, it's cloudy and then the sun comes out and it's like, well, but this is by far the best performance, so I have to use this take somehow. And
I truly know that, like, I have the take that is continuity with the contrast, but I take like, you know, the performance compress, you know, like, okay, we can work around it.
And then this was also really the first project where I had to do a deep dive on the music side, because I had Soundgarden's Like Suicide playing over the credits, which would have been amazing. And I spent probably more than a month going back and forth with like lawyers and representatives and music groups, and like I actually got in touch with the people who, you know, Chris Cornell's widow's lawyer, and that didn't work out. Or and then I went and I hired someone else to make a song, but I didn't like what they did. And then, you know, so it's the music side of it is really, especially on no budget, is difficult.
Gotta use Fiverr.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh man.
Any more questions? So No Labels, No Walls Festival is about unifying people through art, culture, and action. So I would like to ask from the crew, before we see the movie again, what is your message of hope and unity that you want to tell to the streaming audience and to us here having this conversation?
You know, it's not really related to this film necessarily, but you know, I saw something the other day that really made me inspired me, and it was just the idea that when you're thinking about the future, it's like, well, okay, what if I don't give up on whatever this is? So, you know, what if I like just live your life like, what if I don't give up? and maybe that does relate to this story a little bit too.
I think an interesting thing about this movie is the character of Hannah. You know, she's debating from the very beginning whether to end her life, and it comes from a place of guilt. And I feel like there are many people who who are contemplating ending their lives because of a sense of guilt about something. And I feel like to them, it's a huge deal, you know, what they did, and they don't know how to fix it. You know, in your mind, when you're in a dark place, this even if it's the smallest thing objectively to you, it could be, you know, nothing can make it right. And I think maybe seeing this film and seeing someone who's also guilty, but then realize that the depth of how bad something you do can go, you know, having killed her best friend, and you can kind of at the same time empathize with that and be like, oh my God, yeah, like, would I end it, you know, because of that? And then at the same time look at and say, is what I did that bad? Maybe I should. And then seeing her dead, you know, after bonding with her and seeing that reality and kind of scaring yourself into a realization of, oh, it's not, you know, maybe it's not that bad, and maybe I should not do it. You know, if it could do that, if this film could do that for somebody, holy, you know, expletive, that would be more than I thought of, you know, about when I was drafting the play with Savannah. I wasn't thinking about that, but talking about it here and thinking about it a little more after just watching it, I thought I'd share that. It would be amazing if that stopped made one person think about how bad their situation is, and, you know.
I think for me personally, just writing this in general, and I think writing and film and movies in general, I think a lot of it is about, you know, not feeling alone. People just want to feel understood or heard or see something that resonates with them, and that they can take with them and move forward. As well as going back to what James says, not giving up, just people in your life. I think, you know, when I was writing this, you have to think about how your life is made up of so many choices, and it's not always the easy choice to choose to live your life and move forward. But I think it's a lot more difficult to do that, but it's easier to sit and wallow, and grief is so overwhelming. And I think when I was writing this, I was going through a bit of a period surrounding some of that. And, you know, it's basically about harboring really dark feelings of guilt, resentment, sadness, and rather than making that hard decision to move forward or reach out for help or just take a step to continue on in your life, how it can really consume you. And, you know, most people aren't as fortunate to have the outlets or the support or the mental capacity to move forward. And some people choose the other route, which is kind of displayed in the film. And so, yeah, I just hope that, like, my hope in writing it was that it was something people could connect with and see and understand, and like feel how heavy that these situations can be and how they weigh on people, and hopefully just to affect somebody and touch somebody and help other people who aren't in those situations to understand really what it can be like, even a tiny bit. I don't know. The whole goal in writing this was to write something meaningful with purpose, and that people could, you know, resonate and connect to. So if we were able to do that in any way, or are able to, it's amazing. I'm really grateful to have been a part of this project and to have been able to write something that I felt like meant something, and I felt like was saying something. And I think moving forward, I hope other people can connect with it as well, and maybe you know, not feel so alone or understand. Yeah. Oh, wait. Oh.
Um, yeah, to speak on that for just a second, Savannah really was the whole time writing it. She's talking about, I wanted to mean something to somebody, you know, to reach somebody. And like I said, I wasn't thinking about that, you know, at all. I was kind of like, you know, I had come back because Leslie had brought us as alumni. I was like, I got to perform well I got to contribute to this for Leslie, you know, I got to do something good. So I was always like focused on like, well, is it dramatic? You know, is it this? Is it that? And Savannah's like, well, you know, maybe not, but it's got to mean, you know, it's got to actually hit on these points here, you know. And I was like, well, it's got to hit on these points. So it was a constant like the purpose of the play and the pace of it, and it was just this kind of writing. But I think her concern about that was what gave it the spirit of the piece, and carried it forward.
Yeah, we had a lot of contrasting ideas for a while.
Yeah. But when James came in, it was so nice. He was like, "Oh, it's out of my hands and yours." So yeah. It's like, you know.
Yeah, we really.
James was he was a fair leader, and just, you know, he listened, but you know, he knew where he wanted to go.
Yeah, you had a question?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to say something. Thank you very much. I'm really glad that we're watching the movie again because it was so short and I got interrupted, so I could only see half of it. But what I saw, I liked. But I just wanted to say that I really like the fact that, you know, just this end part of the discussion now just showed again that, you know, we have all those different ways of expressing ourselves, be it academically or through movies or through music. But then when we go a level lower, we're all on the same page, you know. So yeah, I just wanted to say that this is what I love about this festival also, to meet so many different people from different backgrounds with different ways of expressing themselves, and yet learning something and still be understood. Yeah, that's it. Thanks.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing. And the festival continues. It's 6 days, 100 performances and events coming from 10 different countries. So tune in tomorrow because we are going to see the movie again, and let's meet tomorrow and the rest of the week. There's a lot of interesting topics that relate to the themes that we've discussed here.
And the schedule is on the website, so please check the program, everybody. Invite your friends. We need to get, you know, mixed audiences to all these events, so please promote it and attend, because I'm telling you, we all learn so much. So please do that.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. And now tune into www.nolabelsnowalls.net and see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Hey, great job, James. Really good.
Hello? Can I help you?
Hey, Hannah.
Simon,
Yeah, it's me.
I don't understand. How are you here? Why?
I came here to help. I heard you might need some.
What do you even know? You don't know anything.
I'm not gonna apologize for what happened between us. But I care enough about you to stop you from
Don't say
making
that,
a huge
okay? You made your
mistake.
feelings perfectly clear.
Hey.
Just stop! You're dead. You died. I got us in an accident, and you're gone.
But it's not your fault. You said it yourself, it's just an accident. You remember when we were 6 and I almost drowned you? You kept bragging about how long you could hold your breath.
For the next 2 weeks.
You remember?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Seeing you. Why did you come back?
Just because I couldn't love you the way you wanted doesn't mean I don't love you at all. It just wouldn't have worked. Even if you were the perfect woman. And you are pretty damn close.
Stop. The last thing that I said to you was that you were a fucking faggot.
But I forgive you. I just want you to be okay.
I don't deserve that.
Hey, cut that out. Hannah. Hannah, look at me. It's okay. I'm here. I'm telling you. It's okay. It's not like you crashed the car on purpose.
Simon. You have to understand.
What?
I loved you so much.
What are you talking about? You deliberately crashed the car?
I never meant for you to die.
What the fuck did you think would
I
happen?
thought we would both die. Simon, please. Every day I wish that I could just take it back or go with you. I wish and I fucking pray that it was different. I can't. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Simon. Simon.